unknowable. It's fraud. Imagine that you have the financial equivalent of $100,000 in a BRIC currency. And imagine that those governments behave the way that they do, which is to say that they inflate away the value. And then let's say that you decide that they need to pay you in what they've denominated in the currency for. Let's say that the Kaiser family from Florida decides that they're going to turn in their BRIC and the Saudis are going to give them some oil, or the Chinese are going to give them some gold.
He uncovers the potential risks faced by global currencies and the importance of gold and silver in preserving wealth. Rick warns about the consequences of governments inflating away the value of currencies like the BRIC nations, while highlighting their historical track record of defrauding people. He questions the notion that other currencies can replace the US dollar as the predominant medium of exchange, emphasizing the trust placed in the US despite its challenges. Furthermore, Rick explores the weaponization of the dollar by the US government, its impact on savings, and the potential destruction of other currencies. He concludes by sharing his personal views on gold and silver as essential components of wealth preservation and speculating on their future prospects. Curious to learn what actions Rick recommends and what the implications are for global investors? Watch the video until the end to uncover the surprising truth and gain valuable insights. Don't miss out on this thought-provoking discussion on currencies, gold, and silver, as it might just reshape your perspective on wealth preservation.
And remember, these guys have guns. They have hundreds, or in some cases, thousands of years of history of defrauding people with currency. It's just that the provider of the fraud, the purveyor of the fraud, isn't one government, it's many governments. This is one of the silliest prognostications I've ever seen. The reason that the US dollar is the predominant medium of exchange in the world is that although people around the world don't trust us much, they trust us more than each other. Imagine the Chinese shipping a whole bunch of cool stuff to Zambia and getting paid in kwacha, a non-convertible currency that the Chinese can't spend. As little as the Chinese trust us, they won't say this, but they trust us more than they trust the Russians. They trust us more than they trust the Saudis. So while I believe that the dollar has problems, I don't think that the dollar is challenged by Brazil, Russia, India, China, Saudi Arabia, or Argentina. I think the challenges confronting the US dollar emanate from Moscow. Not from Moscow, I'm sorry, emanate from Washington. We have weaponized the dollar. We've weaponized the SWIFT banking system. We have made US dollar denominated savings certificates of guaranteed confiscation through inflation. The dollar's only enemy is the US government. And even the US government isn't capable of destroying the dollar as fast as other governments are capable of destroying their currency. Well, I think from the market's point of view, it's silly. Obviously, from a bullion dealer's point of view, it's tragic. And from my point of view, as a systematic bullion buyer, it's wonderful. I will continue to buy bullion, both gold and silver, gold more than silver at my age. And I'm delighted that I will be able to pay less in my systematic buying campaign because other people feel gold is less necessary than I do. So I think it depends on your point of view. For all of the reasons that you and I have discussed many times, I believe that gold in particular are an essential part of someone's wealth preservation and someone's savings. And I believe that silver can play a role there too. And I think that silver is a wonderful instrument for a speculator. In addition to that, the idea that the need to add gold and silver to a portfolio is substantially less than it was 6 weeks ago absolutely blows my mind. I mean, I must say, it delights me. I still have great liquidity. I still have a great income. I'm still enjoying very good capital gains, and I am still deploying into gold and silver. And I am delighted that I'm able to do so for less money. As you know, my new employment activity, Battle Bank, proposes to be a lender against gold and silver. And I'm frankly delighted that some of my customers will be able to buy it for less money. In other words, more collateral for me, less outgo for them. All of that delights me. What scares me is the myopic view of the global investor. I suspect that that's due to two things, but I'm no psychologist. Let me give them to you just for fun. The first is that I think that investors' perceptions and behaviors, we've talked about this before, were generated over 40 very benign years between 1982 and 2002, the 40 most benign economic years in human history. Lower nominal and lower real interest rates, globalization, inclusion in the workforce, freer trade, all those kinds of things were all wonderful. And I think all that changed in 2022. But I don't think that the lessons that people learned in the preceding 40 years changed. I think that people are confronting a changed circumstance with the original perception. And I think that's a mistake. I think, too, that people would prefer not to be scared. I think that people prefer that they consign their financial future to somebody else, something insolvent like the Social Security Trust Fund. And I think that people are tired of being worried. I think it's more fun to believe, or psychologically easier to believe, that the big thinkers of the world, the Bidens, the Trudeaus, the Merkels, the Feds, have your back. And I think that they point to 40 benign years of economic climate as evidence that the big thinkers have the world under control. Long-term capital management happened. We survived. 2008 happened. We survived. COVID happened. We survived. Russia versus the Ukraine happened, and we survived. And we survived because of our strong leadership and our strong institutions. That's wrong. Or if it isn't wrong, it's certainly a contingency worth considering. And it's certainly a circumstance that hasn't changed as dramatically in the last 6 or 7 weeks as perception has. And while that's all amusing to me and frankly profitable for me, I think it's tragic for humankind as a whole.
Rick Rule believes the BRIC currency is fraudulent and unreliable due to government inflation. He sees the US dollar as the global medium of exchange because it is trusted more than other currencies. He emphasizes the importance of gold and silver for wealth preservation, with silver being valuable for speculators. Rick is pleased with the opportunity to buy gold and silver at lower prices. However, he expresses concern about the myopic view of global investors, who rely on insolvent entities and believe world leaders have control. He believes this mindset is dangerous and encourages a more realistic approach to financial security. As we reach the end of this captivating exploration into current economic events, I hope you've gained valuable insights into the ever-evolving financial landscape. Remember, staying informed about the latest economic developments is crucial in today's interconnected world. By understanding the forces shaping our economy, you can navigate the uncertainties and seize opportunities that arise. Whether it's market fluctuations, policy changes, or global trends, staying engaged with economic news allows you to make informed decisions that impact your financial well-being. Stay curious, stay informed, and don't forget to like, comment, and share this video.